Hello, everyone. We'll begin today's session shortly. While we wait for participants to join, could you please confirm if I'm audible? You can type a yes in the chat box. Thanks. Thanks, Amit, for confirming. Just a couple more minutes and we'll start today's session. Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for confirming. Yeah.
I hope my screen is visible to all of you all. You can also type a yes in the chat box if it's visible. And we'll just wait for a couple of more minutes for some more people to join in, and then we can uh, start this off.
Yeah. Sure, Shilpa. Participants are confirming that the screen is visible. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Hmm. So, hello everyone, and welcome once again to our webinar, which is Unlock Your Future: How PGP AIML, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, can fast track your career in AI. So, thank you for joining us this evening. So, we are delighted to have you here for this insightful session, which is basically designed to help you understand how this postgraduate program in artificial intelligence and machine learning can give your career the edge it needs in today's AI driven world. So, during the session, we will be exploring the latest AIML trends and key breakthroughs in this AIML revolutionizing industries, and also how this AIML drives career growth. And to take us through this session, we are thrilled to have with us today our speaker, Ms. Shilpa Das. She's a career growth specialist at Great Learning. Shilpa brings over 8 years of experience in career consulting, academic advising, and professional development. At Great Learning, she has played a key role in helping professionals and aspiring learners in data science, artificial intelligence, achieve meaningful career transformations. So, with her deep insights into industry trends and her passion for empowering professionals, Shilpa will guide us on how to build a future-ready career in AI and ML. So before I hand over the session to Shilpa, let me quickly walk you through the flow. So all attendees will remain in listen-only mode, and you can, however, share your questions anytime through the chat or else the Q&A tab, and our speaker will address the questions at the end of the session. And please remember, what we covered today is just the beginning. The field of AI and ML is super vast and constantly evolving. And the PJP AI ML program is designed to help you gain those skills, those exposure and confidence to thrive in this dynamic landscape. So stay engaged, take notes, and don't hesitate to share your thoughts or questions throughout the session. Once again, thank you for joining, and over to you, Shilpa.
Thank you so much, Lakshana, for that wonderful introduction. Yes, I think it's the most debatable topic at this point in time to discuss about how to fast track career growth in AI at this point in time when there is so much buzz around it. So, with that, I welcome you all to my webinar today, and I look forward to hear your thoughts and definitely any questions that you have throughout. Please feel free to drop me a text. There could be a possible delay, so I'll definitely ensure that all the queries that has been posted is most definitely answered. So, yeah, I think you already have, introduced me, so I'll just move on with my process. So, I think AI at this point in time is in the demand, and all of us have one major question, especially the ones who are in their early career paths, or the ones who are in their mid journey in their career paths, or maybe the ones who are already in this particular journey for more than 15 plus years. Every single one of us has one common question in our mind, which is how AI is going to impact our career growth, right? So while some of us who have been into the technology ourselves, we understand that this is something which is a necessity, and this is something which is inevitable at this point in time. So breaking it down for all of us, I think it's needless for me to probably, start this with. I would rather start it with this, where when we talk about what is artificial intelligence, what we predominantly think about is this being associated only with IT, and this is going to only transform, and this is for people who are coming from technology themselves. But the notion around that is not very correct. So the idea of AI and machine learning at this point in time, anywhere we look at, any organization we look at, right, the idea of integrating and investing millions of dollars into AI is to understand how they can go ahead and increase efficiency, how they can leverage AI to reduce time consumption, reduce human intervention, reduce cost in a process, and definitely increase the optimization. That is the predominant and the baseline when it comes to AI and machine learning, and that is what it is able to achieve in the market as well, right? So be it any process that we talk about, especially the ones who are which is more manual in nature, the ones who are redundant in nature, are the one task that can actually be automated through AI and machine learning. And that is the reason why all of the organizations are specifically trying to figure out areas that they can implement those to reduce that manual effort, to reduce that cost, and to ensure that the efficiency and the optimization is at par, and definitely is exceeding. So when we talk about AI, at this point in time, every single, be it a non-technical or a technical domain that you are from, all of you all need to understand that there is some application of technology, because it's the era that we are in, which necessitates the fact that this is inevitable for us, right? So with that, AI is transforming our world, enhancing productivity and speeding up processes across various fields. The State of Data and AI Literacy report of 2024 revealed that only 62% of the leaders believe that AI literacy is crucial for their teams, which has definitely, I mean, if you look at the last 1 year journey, it has actually literally increased to almost 1.5 times of what we had last year, as per the reports. Now, while there is a lot of buzz around AI, most of these organizations are also trying to figure out how they can leverage that AI in the most righteous format. And for that, they need professionals. They need people who are educated, right? The literacy, the education in AI is very, very important, because what we think, and the buzz around AI says that AI has come because of COVID, but that's not the truth. AI is there in the market since 1955, right? So it is existing as an independent field of research and developments since 1955. And this is, I mean, the beauty of AI is, if we don't understand the past of AI, the present does not make sense. You cannot build the future. One of the classic examples, you look at wave two, which is generative AI. Now, generative AI in itself cannot hold true, right? If we don't understand natural language processing, which is a core part of deep learning and AI, I cannot make or build something which is of generative AI, or which is into agentic AI, if I don't understand lang chains. So all of these things are absolutely interrelated to each other, which has been been running for a significant while, and definitely what we are working on today, standing in 2025, is way more refined version of it. But that does not that does not mean that the old or the machine learning or the deep learning does not make sense anymore. It's absolutely the core part and the root of AI and machine learning, which requires to be learned in order to ensure that anybody who is wanting to get into a career progression from here into these roles and responsibilities should be able to utilize and then take it further. So the formal education in AI is very important, because it is independently existing in this particular field for a significant long. Now, utilizing, I mean, I think we all as professionals, it's very easy at this point in time to get into our laptops and go to Gemini and ask for our questions to be answered, and whatever we want to write it, be it our emails, be it our probably resumes. At this point in time, we just take the help of chat GPT in order to ensure that we get this processed by that particular bot, right? So, but that's all of these things have been, while they have been optimizing our work, the organization perspective towards this is very different. Companies do not want people to go ahead and actually use a outsourced tool, because that hampers, that can actually be a threat. First of all, the outsourced tools are huge in cost. The cost associated per ID is very huge. That's one. Second is they are not customizable as per the expectation of the organization. And the third and the most important aspect, that is the data security. The data security does not stand true whatsoever. So that is where the organizations in any of these particular segmentation, be it talk about the Fortune companies, the top companies out there, every single organization is figuring out their ways of integrating AI within their own organization by various different models and algorithms out there, right? So in this particular webinar, I would like to definitely talk about the practical tips and insights to help master AI, and definitely use it effectively in different, how what are the expectations that the organizations have for someone to build a roadmap against their career as well. Now, coming to the next part, which is, I think, we understand the core part of AI and machine learning. So AI is a branch of computer science that is dedicated to creating systems that can replicate human-like intelligence. These systems are designed to understand the natural language, or they can recognize the patterns, which I said, as the manual effort can actually be reduced, and then making decisions and definitely learning from data and the experience that it is. But it is still, I mean, AI does not have an emotional intelligence of its own or have the judgment of its own, which means there has to be someone who has to drive this, right? And that is the someone that the companies are very interested to take, those are the job roles that are currently open, which is why AI is a buzzword and it's a trending technology at this point in time. When you talk about the organization, when they're investing into it, right? So that's one particular part. So learning AI, I think, it's a matter of more of logic, that is to be given, because people who are in their early careers are the ones who are seeing stagnation in their roles and responsibility. Look at support roles for that matter. 60% support roles are already down because these work are pretty redundant and they can actually be automated. One of the classic examples, look at how we moved from manual testing into automation testing, right? So manual testing had its own issues throughout, and then we moved into automation testing, which was using Selenium, using JavaScript, which was able to actually, automate a lot of the work, of course, yes, and it was much more efficient in terms of its outcome as well. But this process still remained the fact that after the development only, that it will go into the testing phase, which means the development has already happened for that particular software, right? So that's still a long time that has already gone, and efforts have already gone, money has already gotten into it, and that's when we are getting into testing, where we are figuring out what could be the possible anomalies that can come in, right? But when we talk about AI integration or AI into this testing at this point in time, it is not a separate process anymore. What AI is able to do, it's able to go ahead and predict what could be during the development cycle itself. It is able to predict if this is the software that is to be built, what would be the future anomalies in this particular software that can come in, which means during the development itself, the testing is happening, which does not require a to and fro process, neither does it require a separate team all put together. Right. So that is where the opportunities are reducing, while the quality of work is something that any organization is very specific about. Of course, they would need somebody who is able to drive in, who has been into testing, but knows AI and machine learning to work with the developers closely. So that is the kind of transformation that I'm talking about, which basically is rapidly growing right now. And that's the necessity that the organizations have. And anybody who is smart enough at this point in time, who would want to take a leverage of the market or capitalize in the market, should and must learn AI, because we cannot run away from this. No matter whichever field you are in, you cannot run away from this, right? So that's one part. The second part, which I was basically talking about, which it being a trending technology, I think we all work with the concept of demand and supply. So the demand in this particular segment is way higher than the supply that is available, which means again, I mean, anybody who is able to capture the market when the demand is high, no matter what profile you're coming from or what would be your back years of experience, right? You still will be able to make the transition because the demand is higher than supply. While there are very comparatively, there are less skilled or educated people in AI which can actually drive it. And for the organization, if they're reducing human intervention, typically one person is able to replace three people out there. So the organizations are not okay to take some suboptimal people for that particular role. They're very specific from where they are choosing that particular learner and what kind of a skill set they're holding, the hands-on side of the process, the projects that they've worked on. All of these things actually has to work hand in hand, right? So AI being a fast growing field is one thing. As I think, as the logic mentions, when you have one person replacing three people out there, a company has more budget to pay you. That is your salary that you can actually negotiate, which the company is probably paying you two-thirds of the amount that was supposed to be, or rather, that it was shelling out before to only one person, where you're seeing that you're getting double the amount as per what you were getting before. So that actually helps an individual to capitalize the market in terms of growth, in terms of roles, responsibilities, in terms of salary as well. And AI at this point in time has, of course, I mean, not only the rewarding career that it can give you, it also helps you in terms of reducing your day-to-day redundant work as well. So there are folks that I've seen who have actually reduced 90% of their redundant work by just integrating and automating their redundant work day in, day out. So that is something which is what has given them more productive time. See, when we grow up the ladder, any organization's hierarchy looks pyramid in shape. The more you grow up the ladder, the lesser the number of opportunities that are there, which means it is the survival of the fittest and somebody who can drive this particular process. So a proactive approach is much more welcome than somebody who has a reactive approach at this point in time as well. So it can, this field in itself has many, many opportunities, not just being a part of the organization, but to also be able to go ahead and be more productive in the kind of work that we are doing as well, day in, day out. So all of these things have been a core part. And as you see my, my screen as well, I think it's needless for me to help you understand. AI market is projected to grow from US. If you talk about the labor report, it says from 184 billion in 2024 to US, close to about $826.7 billion by 2030. So that's the kind of pathway that it is growing towards, which means people who are, again, who are very specific about career growth, who want to continue to work, who want to sustain, and not just sustain, but exponentially grow, they will be the ones who will be actually going ahead and learning some form of AI and machine learning whatsoever. So this is, the core part. Having said that, learning AI as I mentioned before itself, like one of the most important aspects of AI is that you need to understand AI. I mean, the base of AI, the core scratch point of AI is very, very important for someone to even make sense out of generative AI or agentic AI or whatever, wave 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you may call it from here on. Because without the core concept of machine learning, data science is nothing that can stand true. Because the first thing, all of us are working on data. So that is the whole point, which again, I mean, it boils down to mathematics, to statistics, to willingness to learn. All of these things will be very, very important, which will be the start point of the journey that requires us to have an end-to-end learning, right? So learning AI requires, of course, a strategic and a structured process of learning or an approach of learning as well, where mathematics is one of the core things which helps, which would require somebody to understand linear algebra, calculus, and probability to grasp the algorithms, of course. Now, I think one of the common question that comes along over here is the fact that, all of us have probably learned algebra and all in your eighth, ninth, 10th standard for that matter. And none of us do recall any of those concepts at this point in time. And that's where, the structured learning part of the process becomes very, very critical, right? Statistics, on the other hand, you have to learn to interpret the data with concepts like regression, distribution, and likelihood. All of these things requires to have a structured learning approach, because in statistics, not everything is relevant, not everything is needed as well. So that's when, the process needs to be much more dynamic as well. And it has to have a structure, and it has to have appropriate amount of hands-on, right? And there has to be the willingness to learn, which is, I think, one of the other aspects is the fact that it's the career path that we are talking about. It's your career path. It's our career path. And this is nothing to gamble or nothing to gamble for. This is something which is very, very important. And we just cannot, we just cannot do random things over here. So for that, the willingness to learn is just going to be one of the key important aspect for somebody to overcome the fact that I may not be coming from a technical background. I may not be coming from a mathematical background. That's absolutely fine, right? So that is something which has nothing to do with anyone learning AI or anyone excelling in AI, which brings me to my point of the career opportunities. I see Ashu is asking a question. I'll come to that a little later. Just allow me, a couple of more minutes before I come here, because I know all of these things, developing the specialist AI skills and all looks a little too much when you look at for the first time, right? Look at it for the first time. But I'll tell you how. I mean, to break it down for all of us. Uh, in the beginning of our career journey, if I ask any one of you to go ahead and take a give me a confirmation that, hey, I'm coming in from a mechanical background. What happens to my 8 years of experience, right? What happens to what I've been doing until now in production, right? Or maybe what happens to my background in quality, QA. So what happens to that, what I've been doing for the past 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 years, right? One of the basic question that keeps, I think this is one of the major question that I keep getting as a career specialist, and I would like to cater to this particular point, because it's unfair for somebody to choose before they start the learning journey or before they get into AI to tell whether they would not want to utilize their previous years of experience and completely transition to a different role, a different responsibility all put together, while there are so many opportunities, which I gave you as an example in terms of the testing background itself. Somebody who is coming in from a testing might feel that, I have to leave my experience that I have had before, but that's not true. Right. So there are two ways that you can actually grow. So on one side, if you consider it to be the domain, on the next side, you can consider it to be, the technology. Of course, the technology that we're talking about is AI. So that remains constant. There are two possibilities over here. One, being in the same domain. We can be in the same domain that we are in, and we are integrating AI in that particular domain, which means I am able to utilize my previous years of experience while I am integrating the technology that is required by the organization. And that's one of the most, I think, appreciating part of AI at this point in time that the organization are wanting to explore. Right? That's one. Second is, when you actually go ahead and change your domain. That means you're changing whatever you've done until now, and you're also, changing your technology. That means AI. You're integrating AI in it. So all of it requires, both of these things should be open for someone to actually take a call after learning AI as to which would be the most rewarding pathway for that particular, individual as well. And that is when you require a structured learning journey, which can actually provide you that kind of an opportunity as well, right? So when you talk about the when you talk about the learning and developing the AI skills out there, right? While statistics, mathematics, programming, data structure, data science, machine learning, deep learning, all of these aspects are the core part of it. So this should be the most important learning. So this is a step-by-step learning, and of course, all of these things have to be learned in depth, and not just from the possibility of learning this conceptually. Because I have come across a lot of people who come and tell that, hey, you know what, I've spent about 1.5 years doing some courses, with Coursera and areas like that. Good for someone to have a good conceptual knowledge, right? But the conceptual knowledge is of no use if I don't know how to integrate it, if I don't know how to actually go ahead and create a model out of it, right? If I don't know how to solve a problem with it. So you can keep that conceptual knowledge with yourself, and there's no company, and no, that's the reason why all the organization is very specific of where and what people and what kind of a employee they are very specific about when they choose people to be in AI, because the hands-on side of the process and all of these applications is very, very important, right? So learning the Python libraries, be it pandas, or learning NumPy, scikit-learn, PyTorch and Keras, all of these things requires, for people to actually work on these tools, understanding, be the data manipulation, the mathematical operations, or using scikit-learn for the machine learning side of the process, which is all open source, and all of these things are required by anybody to be able to go ahead and solve a problem actively in an organization as well, right? So these are the commercial, or rather, these are the areas which requires one to learn end to end, and that to the hands-on side of the process as well, right? So having said that, the roadmap for people who want to get into the field of AI, as I said, both in terms of utilizing our career, our previous years of experience, and then getting into AI or integrating AI, versus someone who wants to transition, has to be built from the scratch. And that starts with, about 1 to 3 months would be the foundation building, which is the mathematics basics about Python programming and data manipulations. One need to learn the machine learning and AI, which is the AI concepts, ML algorithms, the model training, right? Because we all are working in the pre-existing models at this point in time itself, right? So that's one. And then months, that is again, the next 3 months, is 7 to 9. That is where someone needs to one needs to specialize, and then learn about the deep learning, ML ops, and the domain expertise. And then of course, beyond that, the 10-month onwards, the continuous growth path, where someone gets into this advanced specialization, gets into AI ethics, understand what its capacity is utilizing Gen AI, understanding agentic AI or industry trends and its impact across. So this is the roadmap, this is the learning journey, which has to be a step-by-step journey, and it has to be a whole. You cannot just learn the foundation and come back and say that, you know it all. That's not true, right? So you cannot just have the middle concept saying that, oh yeah, I was a person who already did, Python as a programming, and I can do everything else. Again, that's not true, because if I don't, great that I have a Python programming background, which is going to help me in terms of making my career further. But if I'm given a problem statement, if I'm working to train a model, I'll not be able to go ahead and make it optimized. I will not be able to go ahead and learn how to work with deep learning, or maybe generative AI for that matter. For that, I require to learn AI concepts. I require to understand the connect in between Python, in between machine learning, right? All of these things are interrelated to each other, and all of that amalgamated together, what kind of a problem it is able to solve. So that's the whole point for somebody to understand um, the AI learning roadmap as well. And having said that, I think uh, the opportunities that are available in AI, which we talk about in terms of roles and responsibilities, any role that you pick up at this point in time as well, because it's not like the usual ones for us to take up our the traditional roles and responsibilities anymore. I mean, if you look at AI is actually a domain where companies have changed a lot. I mean, I've been, associated with 4,300 plus hiring partners being a part of Great Learning, because Great Learning has a Great Learning Accelerate platform with 4,300 plus hiring partners. So I have seen the other side of the story as well, where the organizations are very specific about what they want and how hands-on those skills have to be, right? So that is where, talk about being into a role of a data scientist. It basically requires key skills, which is again understanding Python. Python is the main thing. R is hardly utilized at this point in time. You need to be hands-on with Python, SQL, ML concepts, which is non-negotiable. Statistical analysis, of course, and the data visualization, communication. One of the key skills for somebody to go ahead and get into a role, applying for a data scientist as well. And essential tools is again pandas, numpy, scikit-learn, matplotlib, tableau, airflow, spark, git, bash. All of these things again non-negotiable for the organization, and not just for the someone to understand what it is, but also to have a hands on it, right? So again, machine learning engineer requires someone to understand the core of AI, the architecture, understanding mathematics, teamwork, problem solving, which I've been talking about, right? To understand how to design and deploy machine learning systems to make predictions from any given data. And there are opportunities that are available right now as a LLM engineers. There are opportunities into AI engineers, AI developers. There are opportunities into Gen AI engineers for that matter as well, prompt engineer for that matter as well, which is a sea of openings that are available while it is open for people, or the learners who have the capacity to deliver. And for the delivery in AI requires a formal education in a structured learning format with hands-on in AI as well, right? Now, having said that, I mean, one of the core, uh, main part of my journey has been associated with Great Learning so far. And what I've known and what I've learned, because as I said, I have seen the other side of the story as well. I know the expectation that the companies have. If you talk about any of the organizations at this point in time, for the resume selection, also they use a machine learning process, which is ATS, an application tracking system. So even at this point in time, for people who are applying for these job opportunities, the companies are very specific on who they are choosing and where they're coming from, because the core depth of knowledge in AI is non-negotiable. That is something which is the only way that someone can actually justify the kind of role responsibility or what kind of a problem solving capacity that they will be having. Of course, that will be later interviewed. You will, once you qualify in the resume for the interview slot, you will be actually given a problem statement to solve, which means that someone who is actually learning that AI cannot just have a conceptual understanding of this. You will be evaluated where you have to solve that particular problem realistically. That's when you will be able to take this further, right? So one of my major journey has been with Great Learning, and all this while I've been associated with UT Austin as well. See, UT Austin has been pioneer in the domain of AI. It has a center of excellence in AI or innovative technologies along with AI as well, and has been a pioneer in that domain for the past 25 years, right? Which basically is one of the core things when it comes to what you're learning and the source authentication around it. So if I have to start with the understanding on Great Learning, while I know that you guys are able to see my screen, I would like to talk about a little more of where we come from, right? Because that is what is the integrity of Great Learning, and that is who we are, right? And that's irrespective. That's something which basically talks about what programs, the depth of knowledge that you can expect, and what credibility it holds at the end of the day as well. So the agenda of great learning being or existing, the inception was done, of course, by our founder, Mr. Mohan Lakam Raju. And the idea was he was the one who has had the experience of he has experienced firsthand quality education all his career, be it his graduation with IIT Bombay and then his post graduation with Stanford, for that matter. All this while, what he realized, especially in the Stanford learning journey, was quality education comes at a very, very high cost, right? While there are many areas during that particular learning journey, he figured that could have reduced the cost of involved in the process while not sabotaging any quality aspect of the process as well. And this is the point where great learning was initiated, where our core mission vision has always been the same to be able to provide quality education at the most affordable cost, right? Which is what we call as an outcome driven learning. So, for any university to have a ranking or for any program to be known in that particular field requires excellence to be delivered by that program for significant long, which means the outcome that it has been delivering, right? So, what we have always worked on is the fact that I mean, it's a mutual goal for us, right? What goal that a learner is starting the program with is the same goal that the program also has, because that's where it matches, and that's where we are able to go ahead and deliver a program which has 12 million learners empowered so far, with 170 plus countries that we have been delivering, and not just for the past 1 2 years. It's there since 2013 onwards. So we started with the BABI program, which is Business Analytics and Business Intelligence. And back then in 2013, I would hardly, we can count people, there are only a handful of people who would know that there's something which has machine learning, there's something which is going to come. At that time, data science as a term was not very popular, of course, but there's a handful of people who knew about this. So we did not start this because this became a trend. This is the AI learning journey with us has been there for a significant long. My BABI program is the oldest one, right, which is there since 2020, 2013 to be precise. It's been 12 plus years, almost 13 years that we are going to, go ahead with. So that's where, this is where we come from. And when we talk about a program, one of the major difference point is the fact that this is a hands-on training process, which is the requirement of an organization for any professional, and for for them to be able to go ahead and get an opportunity in the market, for the expectations that are there for this organization to be able to go ahead and not just get into a basic role, but to be able to negotiate, to be able to get into a better opportunity, to be able to get a better pay, and then grow from there and never look back. Because it's not just the investment of money, it's an investment of time that every individual gives when they're learning something as well. So that is something which is where we come from, with a program that comes with career support, a program that comes which has 4,300 plus. It was actually more than 4,000 plus hiring partners. It is 4,300 at this point in time, and which is growing every single day. And we are glad to have that, because without the program being credible, without the learning being credible, without the people having the skills, there is no company who's interested to take or hire from those, hire those people as well. So all of these are interconnected with each other. So that's where we take our pride, and that's what we have been delivering so far as well. So be it not just UT Austin, name any um, collaboration that we have, be it MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which is global rank number 1. Talk about University of Texas at Austin, one of the top universities. What talk about Northwestern University, talk about Stanford, talk about IIT, talk about IIT Bangalore. All of these things have been the major associations that we have had, and it has always been. Talk about Walsh, of course, yes, one of the top colleges in the doctorate program for that matter. So yeah, all of these things is something that we have been, very proudly, and it took us time, and definitely it is worth the process, because at the end of the day, the agenda remains the same, to be able to provide quality education at the most affordable cost. So having said that, if I talk about, since we are talking about AI, I do not want to, I definitely, we do have different courses that depends on the kind of profile portfolio, the kind of outcome, because it's not about just, doing the program because somebody is coming with a budget and they have to learn AI. The most important aspect that if you talk to any one of us, any of the consultants out here in Great Learning, anybody for that matter, we are driven by that outcome. None of us come with an understanding that, this is the program and this is what you should get into. Doesn't make sense, right? See, the idea of somebody to learn something should be driven by the outcome that the person is expecting out of it. And that is the core part and the key part that we all have been working on, and that's the idea. So I'll probably, since we're talking about AI, I'll talk about the most popular program that we have had, and even continuously having, that is the PGP. That's a post-graduation program in AI and machine learning, which is a 12 months program offered by both University of Texas at Austin and Great Lakes. It's a dual certification program which is provided because as much as UT Austin is, as I said, known in the field of AI and machine learning, globally ranked number 8 and a pioneer in this particular domain for a significant while, Great Lakes is there, and it's been ranked number 1 in the field of analytics in India. It's ranked number 1 in the field of analytics because while you learn AI, you also need to understand the analytics side of the process to ensure you learn how to do the data analysis as well. Having said that, when you talk about the entire journey, which I showed you about the pathway, starting from the foundations, learning the mid-level, understanding the core concepts of AI, getting into the depth of even the ML ops side of the process, and then getting into the generative AI or agentic AI side of the process, all of these requires end-to-end in a structured learning process, which comes along in this 12 months program. It's a comprehensive and exhaustive 12 months program, which provides a 360-degree understanding on both machine learning, data science, machine learning, AI, Gen AI, agentic AI as well, right? So this program comes with 60 plus. So the construct of the program works with a logic of solving case studies, because at the end of the day, in any of the organization that you're associated with, at the end of the day, you will be given a problem statement. Your core KRA will be to understand how to approach that problem statement, what data sets to be utilized, how to optimize, how to come up with a proper solution. For someone to be able to grow from here, they cannot just get into processes where they can go ahead and just answer, the questions. Or just do their daily chores. For someone to grow up the ladder, they need to be an effective problem solver. For somebody to be an effective problem solver, they have to create proof of concepts. They have to create those solutions which has a 360 degree. They are able to take into consideration all the feasibility of the model and the proposal that has been given around it, which needs the learning to be in place. So that depends on what kind of an outcome the person is looking, and based on that, the courses are curated over here. So one of the examples is definitely be the 12 months, a program that we have, which has all starting from the foundation to the mid-level to machine learning, deep learning, AI, NLP, understanding generative AI, advanced generative AI, all of these segments along with agentic AI is a core part of the learning journey that you look at, which is hands-on, which is every module having a project that you work on, which is based on real-time mass data sets. And not just any process, right? You work on a capstone, which is at the end of the process, which is close to about 6 weeks of duration of the entire program, which requires one to implement each and everything that they've learned throughout the journey of this 10 months or 12 months into one single project to be able to tackle major projects in an organization as well. That's called as a portfolio building, right? So that's the most important aspect. Now, this program is specially designed. I mean, we know that all this while, this is a professional program and it's PGP, which means you have to earn this particular certificate as well. So this being an online program, this has always have had people like you, people who are working professionals who can actually do this at any given point in time, while the weekend classes are the live interactive sessions that they are always, associated with. So this program is driven by the top faculties which have created the audiovisual sessions during the weekdays, while the weekend live interactive sessions are taken by the online, which is taken online by the industry mentors. Now, I would like to take your attention to this particular aspect because while all of us have been working, I believe we all can draw a common insight over here that whatever we have learned conceptually so far in our graduation has nothing to do with what we do in an organization, be it at any role, right? Even if you're in the core field field as well, which means there is a difference in terms of the conceptual plus the hands-on, especially in AI. That's the most critical aspect of the process as well, which means when you talk about the weekend classes, when you're solving real-time business case studies, these are taken by the industry mentors who have 15, 20, 25 years of experience in the industry all put together, and they have been actively working in AI for a significant long. There are mentors like Murli Balasubramaniam, who has 7 years of experience in AI in itself, as well, with 31 years of industry experience. So that's the kind of mentors who are actually going to drive the hands-on, because the hands-on hypothesis in AI does not work. You have to learn the hands-on to understand and solve real problems, right? So that's the most important aspect. And since this particular program is designed in such a way that every single segment of the profile that you're coming with, or the background that you're coming with, the grouping or the profiling of the program happens alongside. So this program, you're a part of a very small group of 25 learners, and it is held in an interactive live session in a weekend where you exchange, you ask your questions, not like this webinar that you have to raise your hand and you have to chat only. Absolutely not. It's actually a two-way interactive session where you learn things by doing them, right? So that's the kind of process that it follows, with 25 learners in a batch and a dedicated program support with a program manager to ensure whatever you're learning, whenever you have a question, you're not waiting for the weekend only to ask. You have them available, during the weekdays as well, to ensure that everything, the learning journey for the next 12 months remains smooth. Now, since it's a PGP program, it's a dual certification program. Of course, what a PGP means, by the way, for all of you all, it means if you want to take a particular discipline or a domain in the form of your profession, that is when you're required to produce a PGP certificate or a post-graduation certificate in that particular domain to any organization. So that's precisely what it means, because it gives you that leverage of you being a professional in that particular domain. That's the kind of hands-on this program has. So that's when, of course, it's a continuous evaluation process, because everything that you learn is interconnected to each other. And that's when you're awarded and there's a minimum bar of 60%, of course, yes. So that's the entire journey, is to ensure that somebody is able to learn, connect the dots, and everything happens in a broken down approach, which is one after the other. So this ensures that you are able to go ahead and learn, at a flip model of learning, where everything is curated and then, and it's continuously evaluated, so that we are not missing out, or we are not having any gap areas at any given point in time. And that's when you're successfully awarded a dual certificate. One certificate comes from the UT Austin, the second one comes from Great Lakes, which basically awards you to be a postgraduate, in YAN machine, basically a PGP holder in YAN machine learning. Right. So that's about the program. In terms of the curriculum roadmap, I think I've already discussed this with you all. This actually starts with the foundations. When I say foundations, I'm even talking about a pre-work, which is a part of the learning journey that happens to recap whatever mathematics we have learned back in the day, right? Back in 8th, 9th, and 10th, probably from some people in their graduation, some people till 11th and 12th as well. So all of these things requires, because none of us remember those concepts as well, and not everything is important, right? There are very few things which is important and which needs to be recalled. So we cannot just jump into the program. And this is the part that nobody bothers to talk about, right? So this is the point which matters to us, because at the end of the day, this is an outcome-driven program. So when we talk about the foundations and the Python and the data science is what we start with in the initial phase of the learning. Then we move into machine learning and the advanced techniques that you get into. Which is with mastering the linear regression, that is the statistics part of the process, the decision trees, then k-means, clustering, model tuning, one of the core aspects that you learn, which is again hands-on. Then we move into neural networks and computer vision, which is a part of AI for that matter that you now get into. So you learn how a neural networks optimization techniques work, how you can do the image processing and utilize, basically work on CNNs for that matter. Then you'll be moving towards the generative AI, which is, of course, after NLP, you will learn the advanced NLP. NLP is a core part where you learn generative AI and natural language processing, understanding attention mechanism, transformers, large language models, prompt engineering, retrieval, augmented generations, and of course, AI assistant development, which is agentic AI as well. Then you'll be basically getting into the model deployment and the ML ops part of the process. Now, one of the critical, again, pathway for somebody to do justice in the role that they are getting selected, or what the organization expect is to be able to be more collaborative when they are working. Because if someone wants to grow, they have to ensure that they are able to very well communicate, very well work with the cross-functional teams as well, right? Which is where even the model deployment part and the ML operations, ML ops side of the process is actually a part of the curriculum, to ensure that when they are working with their infrastructure team, when they're working in understanding how, model deployment containerization happens, ML pipelines are being deployed, and then model interpretability is checked. This is basically a close work so that we are able to go ahead and deliver the outcome in an organization as well. So that's the level of learning that I'm talking about, which is, basically the conceptual, the depth of knowledge, which is how we are able to provide that kind of a career opportunity as well. And of course, starting with SQL, of course, the sixth part is the SQL and applied statistics, which is, of course, the core pathway. You'll have to learn this any which ways. So that's the whole curriculum roadmap that we work with. And this is something which is a curriculum, since it's a US driven program. And US, we all know, is of course ahead of time in terms of technology than us. So this program is updated every 3 to 6 months, and already ahead by 6 months in terms of this curriculum updation as well. That's a kind of dynamic program this is, to ensure that, when you learn, you are actually able to go ahead and add value to a level where you're able to see growth for yourself. And not just any growth, an exponential growth. And exponential growth is when you grow both in terms of salary as well as your roles and responsibilities, right? Now, coming to my last, time. I mean, this is basically for me to conclude at this point in time, and definitely I'll take up any questions. I think we have what? Oh, okay, 5 more minutes for me to take up any questions. And if there's any question that any one of you have and you would like to consult, because all we do, and the main part that we definitely work in, is to most definitely consult to help someone understand what could be the career progression. Because career is one thing that we take it very seriously, right? Because that is something which we cannot gamble on. So please, you can take a screenshot of this, and I'll be sharing the details, my email ID and my WhatsApp number, for you to reach out to me if there is any questions that you might have or anything that you would like to take up. But for now, I'll just stop presenting, and I just a second. I will pause and I'll stop. Okay. Okay, I'm happy to take questions. I'm back. So I'm hoping you guys have put up a lot of is there any question that I see here? Madam, missed your personal introduction. Can you? Okay, I think I'm a career specialist actually. I have close to about 8 years of experience, and this was something that you joined a little later. Did I miss anything? Any questions that you have? I'm happy to take up any questions that you have. Please go ahead. You can raise your hands or you can chat. I am able to see. Okay. Was I in too much rush? Unfortunately, time is money, right? So, Amit, the point is, to be able to cover and to be able to help somebody understand, I ensure that I keep the pace. But yeah, I should have looked at it a little earlier. If there's anything, I'm happy to repeat. Anybody having any questions? Amit, okay. So Amit, it again, I mean, the program cost would first depend on the fact that, as I mentioned, I would like to know what is the outcome that you're expecting. I will do one thing. I'll just go ahead and type my number to you. To all of you, this is my number. My name is Shilpa. I hope you all know that already. Okay. And this is my email. If somebody would want to go ahead and email me, please do. I'll be more than happy to assist you. But Amit, to answer your question, I would still like to first understand what is the outcome that you're expecting from this learning. Based on that, we can talk about which program can make sense, rather, which career pathway would make sense for us to talk about which program can add value. And then we can come to the cost, because all of the programs have some selection criteria as well. These are university-led courses. So we have a selection criteria involved for someone to qualify and be a part of this learning journey. So we'd like to talk about all of those things. I've sent my details, and I'll also, if anybody has any questions, please do, give me, or you can mention me over here. Yes, yes, Deepak, absolutely yes. This program comes with a dedicated career support. We have our own in-house career platform. So please, reach out to me, reach out to us, so that we can go ahead and take this further. Lakshana, are you there with me in this?
Uh,
Yeah, Lakshana, I would require your help for the feedback forms to be shared in the chat, please, so that they can always give the feedback. And I would like to talk to you, Amit, on this regarding the project. You're a project manager, management executive, 22 plus years of experience. Okay. Uh, Program is still secondary. I would still like to know, Amit, what is the outcome that you're looking for? Are you continuing to be into project management? Do you want to, what is the expectation or an end goal that you have, based on which we can talk about what could be the right career pathway? Because it's 22 years of experience, which means we need to utilize our previous years of experience as well. Program or project management projects at this point in time are AI driven. At this, the AI, generative AI, all of these things is where the projects are. So for someone to be able to manage that, should know AI and machine learning in depth as well. So that's one path which any organization is expecting. Just understanding the basics, or just understanding, Six Sigma and project management certification is not enough to actually handle an AI-driven project at this point in time, because the client's requirement is different. The project dynamicity is very different as well. So all of those areas, because ultimately, if we have projects, then only we have that opportunity and growth as well. So if the projects are in AI and machine learning, at the end of the day, someone who wants to continue to grow in their career and get into strategic roles and get into techno managerial roles down the line would require to learn, the core of AI, or the core of the projects that they will be able to handle better and take it further. So of course, you would be continuing with PM. That's the best way to take it up, Amit. So, Amit, I have given my number. I would like you to take this, please ping me or just drop me an email. If there's any way you can share your number on a WhatsApp, I'll be more than happy to connect with you and help you understand what kind of a career pathway you can look at, and then continue from there. Now, this program, which I was basically talking about before as well, this program is curated to work in two ways. Today, in the start of the program, I cannot expect any one of you to choose which pathway you would like to go for. The beauty of this particular program is that the 12 months course curates itself in such a way that you have both the options. You're trained for both in terms of your domain, the same domain that you can be, and integrating AI in it to be able to utilize your previous years of experience. And the second one, that is where you can go ahead and transition your career, which for people having 20 plus years of experience, complete transition not not advisable as well. So yeah, so it depends on the expectation and the outcome. And yes, utilizing the PGP in my power project management. Okay. I wanted a range of cost for budget planning. Okay. The courses actually range. It depends on the duration. The 12 months duration program is 2,75,000 plus 18% GST, which is 3,24,500. This is the actual cost. You can, connect with me, and or rather, you can connect with any one of us, and you can contact us. If there's any scholarship that can be allocated, because there is a selection criteria involved, Amit. There's a seat availability is one of the major aspects, because you have 2 decades of an experience, more than 2 decades of an experience. So your profile will be shortlisted accordingly. So So there would be those discussion that I would like to have, and definitely there is a scholarship allocation alongside. So you can look for those scholarships accordingly. You can, and for the planning the budget, I think first let's understand how this is going to help you out in terms of getting your career outcome and what kind of opportunity. And to answer Amit and Deepak both of your questions, this program comes with dedicated career support as well. So yeah, most welcome, Amit. Anyone else? I mean, Amit was one of the person who was very, I think he has been very responsive. Anybody else who has any questions? Deepak, I hope I could answer your question. You said whether there's a dedicated career support. Well, yes. The career support first starts with one-to-one career preparation, which is one-on-one in nature, by the way. So to ensure that you know what kind of a career growth pathway, how you can plan your next 2, 3, 5, 10 years of your career from here in the right pathway will be, we will be starting with that. There is resume building. There is, mock interviews conducted one-on-one for those roles and responsibilities for someone to qualify for those job roles, as well. And then, as I mentioned before, we have our own in-house career platform called as GL Accelerate. And this Great Learning Accelerate provides curated job postings per learner based on their profile and years of experience through our job boards platform. So job boards is where you will be having those accessibility from the 60% completion of the course. Those job opportunities will be curated and given as per your profile and the years of experience, and you can choose and you can definitely apply for those opportunities directly. Where we have associations with 4,300 plus hiring partners. So these opportunities will keep on continuing. These opportunities will start from the 60% completion and will continue for the next 2 years. For of career support for a 1 year program. So that's the kind of support that we provide. So Deepak, that's how it is. I hope this helps. This answers your question. Okay. Anybody else who would like to ask me any questions apart from this? Um, Maybe. Okay. So I believe it was good. I think it was great having you all onboarded. And anybody who's not able to speak up or would like to take this up as a conversation later, please feel free to mail. Please feel free to call, WhatsApp, whatever sounds fair. Just for a basic career consulting works as well, right? So just you can always reach back and ensure I'll ensure to revert back. So that's all. And one last thing I would request you, if you can take a moment and please fill out the feedback form to tell me how was the conversation, if there's anything to make it better. I think I already got one good feedback, that was to reduce my pace of conversation, which I will be surely implementing, Amit. And anything else that you can share on the feedback would be great. And yeah, I'll see you in the next time. The next time, I think we don't have any other questions. I hope I've answered all the questions here. Lakshana, anything else to add from your end?
Yeah, Shilpa, the session was, very good. Thank you so much for your time and guiding all the learners here, and hope the session was informative for them as well. Thank you so much, Shilpa. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we can close this
Yes, yes.
conversation then.
Yes,
Okay.
Shilpa. Thank you
I
so much
wish.
again. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all a very happy weekend.
Yeah.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye, Shilpa. Happy weekend to you too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.